Hey, sports fans, PB&C Sports Chaos. We're back with part 2 of our MLB picks. We're going to talk a little National League action tonight as we're on the eve of baseball season starting up. The 60-game sprint starts tomorrow. Yankees playing one game, the Dodgers playing the other. Who would know? They're probably the favorites. We'll talk about that momentarily. Couple little news items before we talk about the game, the predictions. Mookie Betts for you Red Sox fans. He's not coming home after this one-year hiatus in L.A. He's staying in La La Land. Dodgers announced they're signing him to a 13-year contract, $392 million when it's all said and done. Mets couldn't get their stuff together because they were going to make a bid for him if J-Lo and A-Rod could have bought the team, but no way, it's not going to happen. So. And then the other news at MLB, we talked about it over the weekend last week about the Toronto Blue Jays needing a new home field. They thought they were going to play in Pittsburgh. The Pirates said yes. The city of Pittsburgh said, no way, we're not going to have you traveling into our home city. So as of right now, with 4 days from their home opener, they don't have a home field, PB. What do you make of that?
I don't know. They may end up playing in Rochester or something in a Double-A park, or maybe a Little League park. Who knows?
Go to Williamsport. Oh, wait a minute. It's in Pennsylvania. They don't want to play. Never mind. All right. Hey, by the way, the NFL, their training camps are starting, coming up this coming week. Little scare. A lot of players went on the Twitter thing over the weekend and said, wait a minute, we get no protocol for COVID. We're not going to show up. Wow, did that make a big deal? Now the NFL has a policy. Every player will be tested for the first 2 weeks every single day. After that, they'll test every other day unless they stay over 5% positive test. Then they'll go back to once a day. By the way, PB, a little thing about the COVID testing in the MLB. I was reading about this today. They're going to test the MLB players around 11 o'clock in the morning, right? The test results will not be known till the next day at 11 p.m. Theoretically, that means a guy infected could be in the clubhouse for 2 straight days before they know if he's positive.
That's ridiculous. I mean, why can't you get your test done? I mean, I've had 2 COVID tests done down here in Florida, and I've gotten my results literally on my ride home from the test email in a half an hour. Why can't Major League Baseball get a test result in quicker than 18 hours? I mean, 36 hours. That's ridiculous.
You know what? They have a deal with some company in Utah. All the tests have to get sent to Utah, and that's what the delay is. So a lot of teams went out and bought some of their own equipment to give rapid testing results. It still has to be validated by Utah, but if they find something out different, I think it's 9 teams right now, they find something different, then they can just say, hey, get the heck out of the dugout, buddy. So we'll see, but you're right. 36 hours, that's a long window not to have a test at this point in time and age, right? Hey, and by the way, speaking of the NFL, I know you're a season ticket holder down there in Miami. Good thing you're not in L.A. The Rams have already given up on the season. All their fans are already getting a refund, they said. They don't expect any fans in the stands. So,
well, just so you know, I haven't told you yet, Z, but I opted out of my 2020 season tickets. They gave me a deal. I could carry everything over to 2021. I don't have to – I'm only halfway through my payments. They said I could stop and start again the next year, get to keep my tickets, get to keep my pricing. So I opted out. They had no tailgating, no concessions, the whole – I mean, what's the fun of going if you're just going to sit there and watch the game like you would be on TV? Actually,
as you and I both know, we're in a business with customer experience is the big deal. Game day experience is a huge deal. If you can't have the game day experience, why go, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could have more fun on my couch.
There you go. All right. Let's get into this baseball thing. We're going to talk National League this week. We're going to talk, first of all, the NL East. And I got to say, I know I mentioned it the other day. I think the AL East is going to be very competitive. I know you're so on it. The NL East is going to be incredibly competitive, and they got to play the AL East. So my concern there is, I know there's 4 out of the 5 teams in the NL East have a shot at the playoffs. The Marlins have absolutely no shot. Sorry, they're from your home team.
No,
but you know what? At the end of the day, I think at the end, they may not be a wild card as many predicted coming from the NL East because there's going to be so many competitive teams there and against the AL East. So let's talk about it. What do you got in the NL East?
Yeah, well, based on my predictions, it'll be contrary to what you just said. But we'll start in the East. The National League East, by far the strongest division in all of baseball, in my opinion. And I'm going to go this year with Mets. They finally figure out a way. They get it done. They have a pretty solid offensive lineup to complement their pitching staff, obviously anchored by Jacob deGrom. So I'm going to give the nod to the Mets in the NL East. I do like Washington and Atlanta. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have both Washington and Atlanta as my two wild cards this year in the National League. So right there, that tells you I feel like that's going to be the strongest division. Then those Philadelphia fans out there might be saying, well, what about the Phillies? And I do like the Phillies as well. I think they have a good staff. I love Aaron Nola in that number one spot, but I just don't think Philly's going to be able to compete just for the sheer fact that they have to play the Braves. They got to play the Mets. They got to play the Nationals all season long. And I really think that they won't be able to compete there. So I got the Mets winning, and I have both the Nationals and the Braves coming out of that division as wild cards.
I'm going to hold my thoughts on that till we get to the Central because I have a little theory on that when we get to the Central.
Okay. All right. I'll take you right to the Central.
As far as the East goes, I'm leaning towards the Braves. I think they still have a lot of talent. I know they lost Nick Markakis, and I know that Donaldson went up to Minnesota. But Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, the catcher there, Donald, they got some talent still on that team.
Yep.
And they got this kid out in left field, Marcell Ozuna. He's not in left field anymore. Let me take that back. They moved him to DH because of the DH rule now in the NL, where he's not a liability in the outfield. So I am concerned. The Nats, they lost Anthony Rendon, they lost Zimmerman and Leake, both set out because of the pandemic. So I am not so sure that they're going to be in there in the mix at the end of the day. The Nats, they have the two guns. You're right.
Yep.
They got Max
Scherzer and Strasburg.
That's right. So they should go into every series with the outcome being potentially they get 2 wins every series. We'll see. And I know you like the Mets. They got a lot of juice with Alonso, Robinson Cano. Cespedes is going to be the DH, so he won't be a liability for them. I just don't know if they can pitch. Same thing with Philly. They're going to hit, but I don't know if they can pitch. But I think all 4 of those teams beat up on each other. And having to play the Yankees, the Rays, and the Sox. Give me your thoughts on the Central.
It's a good theory. Central is tough for me, and this is going to be my probably my surprise of the day because I do like some of the teams. I think the Cardinals are a good team. I think the Cubs are a really good team. I think the Brewers are a really good team. You know who I have winning that division? The Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds are going to win the Central Division in the National League this year. They have a great pitching staff, if not one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Maybe right behind the Nationals, might be up there with them. But you got Castillo as your number 1 guy. You got Sonny Gray, a former A's pitcher, former Yankees pitcher in the number 2 spot. You got Trevor Bauer, who pitched for the Indians, right, in the past, as your number 3 guy. You got Wade Miley in your 4th spot. And you have DeSclafani in your number 5 pitcher, probably one of the best number 5 pitches in any rotation. So I really like the fact they come out 5 solid guys every single, 5 or 6 days. I think their pitching staff is going to be amazing. And their lineup, it's not the best, but, you got Joey Votto in that lineup, who I know you're a big fan of. And I think that team can beat out the likes of the Cubs and the Brewers and the Cardinals and win that division. And surprisingly, because I have 2 wild cards coming in the East, I have no wild cards coming out of that division. Although the Cubs and Bruins and Cardinals are all capable of it, I just don't see them having it this year.
So that's a good point. I'm kind of with you. I'm leaning to the Reds as well. I like the acquisition of Trevor Bauer because this is a redemption year for him. Obviously, he had the big incident in Cleveland last year when they kind of ran him out of town after throwing the ball into center field, right? So, and I agree with you. Sonny Gray and Castillo, good pitching staff there. They did pick up some bats to go along with Joey Votto because before it was Votto and a bag of donuts for a long time with them in the batting lineup. So they got some depth there. Obviously, the Brewers are going to be tough with Yelich. They got Ryan Braun, who's getting old now, but can DH. Again, the DH rule benefits the NL this year, right? So they're going to be in good shape. And, of course, the Cards may have the best infield, at least hitting-wise. Matt Carpenter at third. They got Goldschmidt at first and Colton Wong at second base. They're going to be tough. My funny prediction, we'll talk about wild cards in a minute, but because they play a very, very weak AL Central, the Royals and the Tigers, along with the Orioles, are probably the three worst teams in the American League, and maybe all of baseball to go along with the Pirates, who are in the NL Central. There you go. That's a lot of games against bad talent. So you could pick up some big wins. Those three teams right there. Reds to win it. Brewers in second. Cardinals in a close third. I got a funny feeling. I don't know yet. I'll say when we get to wild card picks. Let's go to the West.
I wouldn't be surprised if a wild card comes out of the Central at all. And I'm surprised also he not have the Cubs in that equation. So
that's another good team. You're right. So
yeah. West, I think this is going to be a joke. I think it's going to be a runaway with the Dodgers. I don't even know who's going to compete with them. The Giants and the Rockies are probably in the same kind of category to me. The Padres maybe a step down from that. I just don't see anybody touching the Dodgers. Clearly the best lineup in all of baseball. If I had to put any team near them in terms of offense, it would be the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. But, as far as nationally goes, they are the cream of the crop, hands down. And then you layer in that pitching staff with Clayton Kershaw as your number one. You got Buehler as your number two guy. You still got the likes of an Alex Wood in that.
Good point.
And the team is stacked. I mean, they're the West winner far and away, and no team from the West will make a wild card.
I'm with you 100%. A lot of the experts have the Diamondbacks. They're going to be a solid team all year. Torey Lovello, the former Red Sox bench coach, is a great manager of the players out there. I think they'll be good. Also, another team, I don't think they make the wild card either. I'm with you. But people talk about the Padres as an up-and-coming team. They could slip into the wild card. I don't see it. I don't think they have the pitching. I know they get some hitters on that lineup. I don't see it happening at all. Of course, the Rockies will score runs, but they're like the Red Sox. They'll score 8, they'll give up 9, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, so you got your division winners. Give me your division winners again. You've got the East.
In the East, I'm going to take the Mets to win. I'm going to take the Reds to win in the Central, and I'm going to take the Dodgers to win in the West. And then my wild cards, and I'm going on a little bit of a limb here, both coming out of the East. I do have the Braves and the Nationals. I do really like those three teams you mentioned in the Central, though. I think the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Brewers all could steal one of those spots from either the Nationals or the Braves. But that's
so I got the I don't have the Mets, sorry. I got the Braves. I got the Reds. I'm with you there, and I got the Dodgers. I definitely have in the wild card for sure. I got the Brewers, and I'm tempted, as I said a moment ago, I want to take another team from the Central, but I got a funny feeling they're so close that even those leaders, even though they sweep the other teams, I think they split each other in the series. At the end of the day, it allows the Mets to slip in as the other wild card.
All right. I like those picks. So going all the way in the National League, I gotta put the Dodgers in that spot. So I got the Dodgers and Yankees in the World Series this year.
So I'm gonna put you in a spot right now. Do the Dodgers finally get out their schneid? They've lost a couple of World Series. They lost last year to the Nats when they had a chance to go to the World Series again. Did they finally pull it off?
I think they do this year. I really do. I think the Dodgers are going to win it all. That's my team to go all the way. They'll beat the Yankees. It'll be a great series to watch, but that's who I got winning the whole thing this year, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Man, I'm so tempted to take the Yankees because I think they're just going to be a tough out 1-9. But I'm with you. I think the Dodgers at the end of the day, because I think they have a little better pitching for sure than the Yankees do. I'm with you. Dodgers too. Plus
nice.
Yankees,
all right, we're on the same page. Hey, tomorrow night, Yankees and Nationals at Washington. Dr. Fauci's throwing out the first pitch in Washington. Who do you think takes that game? You got Garrett Cole up against Max Scherzer.
You know what? I took the Yankees.
Did you?
We both did the MLB opening day predictions, right? I had the Yankees in that one and Dodgers in the nightcap.
Yeah, I got the Dodgers in the nightcap too, but I got the Nationals taking that game. I think Max Scherzer at home, coming off the World Series win. I think they're just gonna take it to the Yankees on tomorrow night. So
all right. So this weekend we got to get on to the NBA because they start up their season before next week, and they start next Thursday night. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or Friday night, one of the two, or Thursday night. So we'll talk a little NBA action, what we think is going to happen in the bubble down in Disney World next week. PB, any last thoughts before we sign off?
No, it was great. Getting excited for baseball. Can't wait to see what happens tomorrow night.
Me as well. Thank you very much, sports fans. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Go MLB. Stay safe.